Got so drunk and the kiss me goes looking like what feels high than my last flight was in the city of a pretty freak and we got feet off keep oh free she wants to one nigga to go down I'm saying no be drunk baby she's dead. I can't believe one thing we got so drunk we don't watch it.
The clouds look so nice today, but I feel like they're trying to tell me something. Oh, good. Huh?
Got so drunk and the kiss me goes looking like what feels high.
Kel, where the fuck is you going?
Let's fly once in the city of a pretty freak and we got feet off keep oh free she wants to one nigga to go down I'm saying no be drunk baby this she's dead I can't believe one
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to 2K Sports and another exciting edition of NBA Ball. And in our matchup tonight, we'll see the Milwaukee Bucks going up against the New York Knicks here in New York. Two slam dunk champs, Grant Hill and Brent Barry, our analysts tonight. Brian Anderson here. We'll hear from Allie LaForce as well. Now let's take a look at the Bucks opening line. Inside we have Giannis and Lopez, Lillard and Trent Jr. at the guards, and it's Middleton in at the 3, small forward. And for the Knicks, they've got MP. Jalen Brunson is out there with Mikal Bridges. Then it's OG Anunoby, and it's Towns in at the power forward. And we've got two of the elite teams in the Eastern Conference duking it out tonight, Brent.
Well, at this point in the year, BA, you wonder, will these teams face each other in the playoffs in the early stages? I don't think so. They're super confident about having an elevated position in the playoff format. That means in the later rounds. These are great tests about the intensity that both of these teams will bring to the contest.
And he has made his role clear. He has his sights set on beating the top teams in the league because he knows to be the best, you have to beat the best. Well, how can I watch you about it for the police and the sun was not really because I didn't know if I could his team is not daddy was out on the jet. I need something drinking more, but she hit his friends from the daddy. I know why, I just see it in your eye. All them little nights you cried, I just see it when you smile. It hurts me to death when I look at you when I see your eyes. I remember Christmas when I went and I didn't have enough money to get you alive. And it's just what I'm just on the day and the sad. Decided selling all these things for see daddy bank accounts was closing and counties left me. So everybody that told me they were suicide. They call
keeper knows how to set a safety.
Oh, yeah, sounds like it's going to be a real page turner, Alex. And we're about a minute into the first. Well, Brett, he doesn't give you much inside the arc, but Trent Jr. is a sniper on the team.
Yeah, Gary Trent Jr. knows exactly why he's on the floor, and that's to shoot the basketball. So continue to move, find open areas, wait for the ball, and then let it rip. Part of playing with Trent is you gotta set him up. He's so good shooting it off the catch.
Brunson passes to Embiid. About a minute and a half through the first quarter.
Just a strong finish there, guys.
Hey, it's just one hand to do it. For Milwaukee, they've gone 2 of 3 on the floor.
I know that it only affected you. It was nothing to it. Mommy, she let you so much. She started getting pretty tough. But when you had this thing with Ashley, I know that that's tough. Even though your mama came with trauma, she was always strong enough to just for the both of us. I wonder how you really feeling lately. Uncle Jimmy's crazy, and he really loves you, and he stays with you today, and I just can't be. Also understand that we gon' show no brother. I need both to keep each other safety.
Just made it look that time. Here we go, the Knicks in transition. And it's off the break. Bridges has got 5.
4 or 5 to start the game. That's got to be a feel good.
Milwaukee has gone 0 for 2 from outside. Trent outside. Antetokounmpo outside. And that time also a missed shot.
He wants that one over again. I guarantee that nobody's even in the neighborhood.
Got that one quick.
One thing that no team loves is a young, selfish player. Clearly, that's not who MP is.
Brunson against Lillard. Antetokounmpo surveys. Lopez, the screen on Town.
I never have to
Here's
worry.
Antetokounmpo. The open shot by Middleton. Karl Anthony Towns comes up with a rebound.
I saw a green light there, but he's not going to get away with that kind of lapse all that often here tonight.
And Anunoby gets it to go.
Their ball movement on this run has been tremendous. It's led to a lot of good, clean, open looks.
Well, Grant, from roster to coaching changes, the Bucks have been trying to become an even more
Brew any issue with the call?
Teams are
No,
always
I don't have any issue with the play call. It was a good call. It got Buddy Hield an open look. He just missed it. And I'm not, when I get, Steph is obviously an all-time great player. And I get why people would have wanted to see him take that shot. But I'm not the guy that feels like the best player always has to take the shot. Everybody in that building, including the Clippers, was thinking it's going to Steph Curry. So he's a good decoy. He picked, Hield's man, which was Kawhi. It's not a terrific look, but it's a good look. And he just totally took that shot. But if you remember about a month ago, not even a month ago, when the Lakers had that game against Chicago, when Josh Giddey hit the half-court shot to win, with 30 seconds left, Austin Reeves had an ISO on the right wing with Luka and LeBron on the left watching. It was an ISO for him, and he made the shot like a little 8-footer to put him up 3. Then the last play of regulation, he gets it again on an inbound pass from Luka. LeBron was open. They could have went to LeBron. And they go to Reeves, and he lays it up. What would have been the game winner if Giddey had hit. My point is, this notion that my best player always has to take the last shot is ludicrous. Jordan didn't always take the last shot. LeBron hasn't always taken the last shot. Luka, as I just mentioned, I got no problem. And also, Steph Curry's the greatest shooter ever. He is not historically that great in that specific setting. A lot of the iconic, huge Steph shots are shots like that kill you. The night shots. You know what I mean? The Warriors up two. Exactly. And so the last minute in his career, Tyre take the lead threes, we can show it to you. Like, he's not that good. And so, by the way, no one's that good.
Because what is good?
Right. No. Nobody good is 30%. Great is 35%, historically. So Hield has hit 2 game-winning buzzer beaters. Steph has hit 1 in their career. And so, and Hield is, if Hield's not out there to shoot threes, he's not out there for anything, and he got a cleaner look than Steph. is going to get. And so I understand Steph, after having a really shaky first 3 quarters, was unbelievable in the 4th quarter. You know, it wasn't as good in overtime, but so I understand the hot hand feature of it, but that's not why the Warriors lost. The Steph piece of why they lost is the 8 turnovers were and it's the same way they lost the Spurs game, with Steph and Draymond turning the ball over late. But the biggest single culprit is the guy who guaranteed a championship for the Warriors, and it's Draymond Green. And at the end of regulation, the Warriors got away with it, but he tossed the Warriors. This was brutal, and I'll explain why. There's an 8-second difference in the shot clock and game clock there, and he just gives a foul with 2 on the shot clock. The Warriors were going to get the final shot of regulation, either in a tie game or down 2.
Curry missed the layup too, though.
Draymond just gives a foul.
Curry missed that layup too. He missed the layup before Draymond.
Because they're not going to the free throw line. But it allowed the Clippers, there you can see the clock now, to be able to hold it in the last possession. So that was a mental mistake by a guy who claims to be the single best defensive player in basketball this year. And then, in overtime, after Draymond, to his credit, hit a huge 3 and cut it from 6 to 3, got a wide open layup, and was more interested in doing some gymnastics routine to try to get a foul call than make. Watch his left leg. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, bro. What, is that scared to make a layup? God damn,
and if people think I'm being too harsh on him, I said this the day after Draymond gave this quote we're about to hear, that he is writing a check that Steph Curry is going to be asked to cash. How you got to do it from the plane, which no one's done. Now you are potentially facing either Wild Rockets in round 1 or the World Thunder in round 1 or no one in round 1. Because you guys blew the game against the Spurs, and because of those mistakes. I mean, that was a great game. It was a great game, and James Harden was unbelievable. Listen, again, it would have been nice if Defensive Player of the Year could have slowed down Harden or Kawhi, but he couldn't. And so that's right. Nobody's slowing him down.
I mean, I'll kill him for the missed layup. He's a great defender.
He's a great defender.
Nobody, I don't care who the defender is. You ain't stopping Harden and Kawhi when they got to go. I mean, that's I need to make it tough for him.
I mean,
and Steph and Butler had.
All right, so let's talk the big picture. With the loss, the Warriors are headed to the play-in to play Memphis.
We talked about this last week. They could have just said, you know, we could face Houston in the first round versus facing. You're trying to win. Whoever you play, that's how it is. But you know what? I really like this. I think this is good for the Warriors. I get it that Jimmy Butler's got the quad, that Steph's got the thumb, that Draymond's got the bruised ego for missing, smoking that layup, as he said, right? But if they take care of business against Memphis, which hadn't been a winning team in the West in like since January, then they will still get 4 full days rest before facing Houston. And this, look, I don't think they'll beat the Lakers either way, but I'd much rather face them in the second round. And I think as fans of the game, we'd rather see them in the second round than in the first round. They should have. Now, I'm not saying Memphis, because one and done, we know anything can happen. So they're going to have to go there and play well. But they should beat Memphis. Then you get a much better matchup with the Rockets. And I know that's your team. I saw you coming in today talking about you're a Rockets guy. If your Rockets play the Warriors, they're going down. They're going down. So, yeah, this is great.
So here's the thing. I think the Warriors were maybe more comfortable with the Lakers matchup than you or I thought they should be. I think a lot of people feel like, you know, we want to play small. The Lakers will kind of allow you to play small because the Lakers also don't want to play a center. They just beat them as opposed to when they just played the Rockets, both teams are full strengths, and the Rockets, you know, when they were, I think they were 14, that's when they were still undefeated with that starting 5, and the Rockets beat them by 10. Also, Memphis has beaten Steph Curry and Draymond Green in a play-in game in Golden State.
O-R-G. G-O-R-G.
Says Gorgeous Alexander?
Man, shut your bitch ass up. You know how to fucking stupid ass.
Hey. And that was to end their season. That was when the Warriors lost to the Lakers in the first one, and then Memphis beat them in the second one. So that's got to bounce around your brain a little bit. And I think there are. Wilds, do you have your pencils? Oh yeah, sure. Can you get them for a second?
Yeah, hold on, I'm ready. You gotta tell me what. Are you asking me?
Why did you put up the vibe meter? Isn't that what that is? Your vibe antenna? Yeah, suck. How are you feeling about the Warriors vibes right now?
Team execs say all the time, you're either selling wins or you're selling hope. How true is that, Greg?
Well, not great.
I think it's better than Memphis.
Okay, that's right. I think Memphis has bad budgets or just, bad maturity. But they sure seem to be having fun in various. But there are a lot of pieces of this that were concerned. The Jonathan Kuminga, who I have thought for a long time is a player that is a little overvalued by trade Nixon in some circles of the media. You know who seemed to overvalue him? Steve Kerr, who was like, you know what, not playing today. And that was his first DNP coach's decision in months.
Can I just push back on that? Did it register for you that he stayed and worked out, and it was like, yeah, you could take that a few different ways. You could like pack up your stuff and not talk and leave. He stayed there by himself and was shooting. I felt like the vibe meter felt like that was a good sign.
Maybe. I mean, again, you're certainly right that is better than him, touting or doing something. What I would say is, I think most of the people that think the Warriors have very high upside, he's a part of it. You know what I mean? Is that he is
fringe?
Yeah,
but they made that run with him on the bench, or not on the bench. It hurt in Butler first.
When Butler first got there, but as of late he has been playing. So there's that to me. Jimmy Butler getting hurt is something as far as how it matters to this game. And here's what I believe, and I think you'll agree with me. If they lose Tuesday, their season is over. There is no coming back from a loss on Tuesday.
If they lose Tuesday, you think they won't even make the playoffs?
No, I think they might as well not make the playoffs. If they lose Tuesday and then all of a sudden have to, with the Thunder having rested for more than a week, being a 68-win team waiting for you,
and 5 of 8.
Right, and so to me, they are Tuesday. Their season, yeah, that's right. Their season ends with a loss on Tuesday, and I understand they're 7-point favorites. They should win, but I don't think any of us would be shocked if that is a close game in the fourth quarter.
No. And so Memphis' talent, I just can't overlook it.
Right, and so for all those reasons, I think this is a really rough week for Golden State.
But here's the thing, and again, I get, Steph even said it going into that game yesterday. If you don't win, then you're taking a risk. You're gambling because of one and done situation. Anything can happen. But if they had won yesterday, we think their season was over anyway. They're facing the Lakers in the first round. I get it. I give them a shot. They have a shot. I think they're good.
I think that here's where I differ on that. If they had been playing the Lakers, it would have been fully rested, a week plus off, none of this. The context now changes. And I think that, I agree with you, the rest is less of a big deal if they win Tuesday. If they're still, Tuesday till Sunday, it's fine. I just also think Houston might be a uniquely tough opponent for them. Because of Houston, the Warriors are going to try to beat you defensively, and Houston's we love that idea of the game. The Warriors are going to try to, with Jimmy and Draymond, out-toughness you, and Ime Udoka's okay, give it a try, and I'm very curious.
The Rockets have these droughts of scoring. They don't have one great scorer who's efficient.
100% agree. But I also, Amen Thompson on Steph Curry for 7 games, even, you know what I mean? Even if we think the Warriors are going to get through it, that is a fair amount.
But every one would have been tough.
No, that's
if you don't face Memphis,
what they needed to do was beat the Spurs and get the 5 seed.
Every first round match.
Here's the title odds, and I know we're what do we think about the Warriors? Title odds: Thunder 1 seed, Celtics reigning champs 2 seed, Cavs 1 seed, Lakers 3 seed. Warriors are playing, but they have the 5th best title odds. You think that's just nostalgia money. Is that smart money? These are odd odds. That's right. I thought they were odd odds as well. I didn't know
the way
if
to
gambling
those
works or not.
odds is Vegas has both the Celtics and the Thunder as favorites versus the field in their conference. Vegas is very confident. The NBA Finals we are getting is the one that Captain Easy Stance has been promoting all year, which is Celtics Thunder. And so that's what it says. And then after that, I think some of it is because right after the Warriors, I believe, is Denver. It's what you have is the three teams who had awesome regular season, the two teams with awesome regular season, the defending champs, and then teams that have superheroes. Luka, LeBron, Steph, Joker. And that's what they're saying. The only way you're beating one of those other teams is one of your all-time legendary players goes crazy, and the other teams don't have those.
I think, let's see, you've been doubting it and questioning it, and maybe rightly so. Let's see if they get playoff Jimmy.
Correct.
Tied with the Thunder or the Clippers. Oh, the Celtics are tied too, three-way tie, and then the Wolves. So, Drew, traditional your Clippers. Well, last week you said they were my Clippers all of a sudden. How dangerous are the Clippers in round one versus Denver that used to be my team and might not because I can't have both teams?
So dangerous that for a round, I'm going with the Clippers.
Oh, good.
They're playing Clippers against Clippers. Now, look, I'm not disrespecting Denver. This obviously could go either way. To me, it's definitely a 6 or 7 game series, but I like the Clippers. That stretch, 18-3. Here's some of the teams they beat: Detroit, the Knicks twice, Sacramento, Miami, Atlanta, Cleveland, Memphis, Dallas twice, Houston, and Golden State. Like,
lost to OKC in a game that came down to the final.
Yeah.
They lost by 2 in a game that was back and forth.
They are playing great basketball, and they obviously, you got the 2 great scores, actually 3. One of the few teams with 3 20-point scores. Denver's defense has been a problem this year. And you've got a guy in Zubac who's having a great year. 16 and 12 he's averaging. Obviously he's not Jokic, but he's big enough.
Potential All-NBA or Defensive Player of the Year inclusion?
I considered him, but we'll see. But he's a guy that can at least match up size-wise and physicality-wise with Jokic, so he can wear him down a little bit. And I just like them, and they have a coaching advantage. Dave Allen, who knows? Maybe he'll be a Hall of Famer like his dad one day. Right now, Ty Lue is definitely the better coach. So I give them that advantage as well. Yeah, I like the Clippers.
Wilds, are you back with your Nuggets?
I have a W2 and a 1099, and I still
to take a glance again at that superb block.
Yeah, obviously he had the shot well anticipated, able to shut it down with the force.
So you go.
I guess I'll go with the Nuggets for the sake of the show.
No, that's not true. Yeah, you're such a phony.
Here's the problem.
You're going the Nuggets because you said today at 10 a.m. you have the Nuggets.
I know, but it's kind of like just.
Kumpo's checked in for Portis.
I'm not.
It's just a first-round matchup. It's not the final.
The head coach is coaching his 4th game. So it's insane.
Yeah, but
why do you like? Well, hey guys, it's my 4th game.
You're big on You're big on player coaches, and Joker kind of.
I did like that.
Yeah.
So I don't. Here's the thing I don't like. I don't like coaches that have only coached 3 games. I don't like not shooting threes. The other day, the guy made 5 threes. You don't like that. I don't like bad defense. They made 5. They went 24 the other day. I guess I'll take him. But okay.
I don't know what that means.
I don't want to put.
All right, that's for the Nuggets.
Yes.
All right, they go.
So luckily, I'll break the tie, and I'll let you guys know my pick Friday because I'm excited. However, I will tell you, so this is what I'm excited about, and then this is to me the bigger picture of how this felt. I'm excited. This is James Harden referendum time. Once again, annual event. It's the year that because James Harden yesterday was the best player on the court. He was unbelievable.
12 and overtime.
It was like prime Harden with the Rockets against the Warriors in the regular season. Where it was like, oh man, this dude's coming for Steph trying to win MVP. He was awesome. Kawhi was awesome. Dunn is a great defender. Zubac, who famously, Magic Johnson's final move before leaving the Lakers, like, I'll give you Mike Muscala, I'll give you Zubac for Mike Muscala. Thanks, Magic. That's what I'm excited about. But here's the other thing. Wilds made fun of me in the walk-in video for wanting to talk about this from the Lakers side of things. This is just, wait, don't say don't. Don't tell quickly. Not quickly. This is important.
Lopez has got 5 points in the quarter.
If you are the Oklahoma City Thunder, this bracket potentially fell in a way you just hate. Where you now, first of all, you're a game away from having to face the Warriors in round 1. That sucks. And you are guaranteed in round 2 to either face Denver, full-fledged mojo back. You know what I mean? Denver, that's won from 3 in a row since firing the coach, would have just won around in the playoffs. Jamal Murray wasn't good. A Clippers team that at the moment has won 18 of 21 and then would have just won a series. So figure out, we've won 22 of whatever, however long the series goes, and is feeling great even I have a finals MVP staring across the floor from me in either of these matchups while we have the youngest team ever. Like, I think for Oklahoma City, the bracket fell as hard as it possibly could have. Yes.
I just think, again, I hate to keep beating this dead horse. Other than Memphis, and they weren't going to play Houston, obviously, in the first round. It's a bunch of tough matchups.
Yeah, but if you
like Minnesota, and we'll get to them in the late. I think they would give Oklahoma City a lot of trouble. So I just think that outside of Memphis, everybody you're going to face is going to be tough.
I understand. I guess my point would be, if you're Oklahoma City, it's like, okay, Houston and Minnesota, they have similar profiles in us in that young, talented, unproven. You know what I mean? But we have more talent, and we were better than them. They can't play either one of them early. You know what I mean? The teams that have the veteran, proven guys are the teams they're going to have to go through, guaranteed one of them in round 2, and a game away from the damn Warriors in round 1. I just think if you're the Thunder, you're bummed out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.
And here's MP. And so New York takes this one by a big margin. Well, this might not have been the most competitive game we've ever seen, but you've got to appreciate their masterful performance.
And I'm sure their fans appreciated it too. We saw the outstanding defense and a loaded offensive effort. They were just dominant out there.
And that'll do it, folks. For Allie LaForce, Brent Barry, Grant Hill, and our entire 2K Sports crew, this is Brian Anderson signing off. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.
Welcome in to the Jalen Murphy Show. I'm your host, Jalen Murphy. I know more about sports than you do.
That's debatable.
Watch your mouth, Russ. We got a great show for you today, starting off with a brand new segment, Trash Talk Do's and Don'ts.
Oh, I'll start. Don't tell people how to trash talk when you were a 7th man with a rickety jump shot and the handle of a precocious 4th grader.
Okay. Do keep your mouth shut if you spent most of your career waving towels at the end of the bench.
You know what? You've been selling me short since college, man. How about this? We could have won a championship, but you looked me off to take a double-team 30-footer at the buzzer, buddy.
For the last time, Russell, you weren't open.
I was open.
Guys,
I was open. I was wide open.
Just, if I may, can I just say, wowzers. I'm so looking forward to learning from both of you. And more data is always important, even when it's something as unquantifiable as trash talk.
Shut it, Toby!
Okay.
Let's start the segment. Don't trash talk if you can't back it up. There's nothing worse than writing checks with your mouth that your game can't cash.
That's what I'm saying. Not only does it make you look like a clown, but it demoralizes your teammates.
You'd know all about demoralizing your teammates, wouldn't you, Russ?
Oh, you would like to think so, except that my basketball skills were so superior to yours my entire career that you couldn't even hold a candle to.
Another game, another win. Back to work tomorrow.
Yo, I saw Twin get his first triple-double last night. Nice work. That boy's better watch out for MP, man.
Shit, I'm not Scoop, but what's poppin', G's? Appreciate it tuning in. How you living? How you living?
Finished with the best record.
Appreciate it, appreciate it.
The Rockets, the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Clippers, and
as long as it's positive. Appreciate it, appreciate
they
it.
all locked in playoff spots. And then the Cavaliers, who won 60-plus games for the third time in franchise history, while the defending champ Celtics, I know we're not supposed to do it again, but they kind of want to. You just heard Jason Tatum. The Knicks, the Pacers, the Bucks, the Pistons, they're all locked in to a first-round series. And then, out in the play-in in the East, the Orlando Magic, they will play the Hawks tomorrow, with the winner taking on the Celtics in the first round. Why does it always feel like the Bulls are in the play-in? They are the play-in warriors. They're going to host the Heat, with the loser being eliminated, the winner taking on the loser of Orlando and Atlanta. Now in the West, the Warriors, they host the Grizzlies in a must-see game that grants them a ticket to the first-round series against the Houston Rockets. And then the Kings, they take on the Mavericks. That one for the loser of Golden State and Memphis for that final Western playoff spot. But how exactly did we get here? Well, it all came down to one game last night. Win and get in. The Clippers and the Warriors, they played for a chance at staying out of the play-in entirely. And Brian Windhorst, it did not disappoint. Jeff Curry, was the shimmy too early?
I thought so in the real time, but what am I going to say?
Yeah, I do. Once you did that, I'm like, bro.
James Harden, he put on
like, bro, this shit not over, bro.
In just a minute here. But the Clippers
appreciate it, G. Appreciate it. Be blessed, man. Have a good one.
Takes advantage there inside. And then Kawhi Leonard, the final possession here of regulation. couldn't get the shot to fall. And so to overtime we go. And that brings us to our electric moment brought to you by Hyundai, because James Harden was absolutely cooking in overtime.
Right from the start, the first basket puts them ahead. They controlled the overtime with James Harden leading the way.
James Harden, once again, gets that one to fall. And then here, 2 minutes left to go, Steph Curry. A huge three here, Udonis.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I need that. I need that.
You got to go to him while he's hot.
But then Steph weaving, bopping. He gets double teamed here in the corner and then turns it over.
Yeah, tough play. They're down 2.
What are you talking about, Rob? I've been getting Mikael. I've been passing to Mikael Bridges more than anybody on the team.
You have the sideline of the extra defender.
What do we say about James Harden cooking? Well, right here, this would be called as a goaltend by Jimmy Butler there. So count the bucket for James Harden here. Jimmy Butler can't believe it. Under a minute to go here. Butler. Originally, this was called as an and one, but then that foul was overturned. So play on here. What do you see on this play, UD?
Great play. I mean, Draymond's just got to go up strong. I know he doesn't have a lot of lift right now, but as a big and you get the ball in the paint, you got to go up and try to dunk it.
It seemed like he was going to foul. Exactly. He looked like he wanted the foul. This is the play we see all the time here for the Golden State Warriors, something they got from Brad Stevens. They weren't able to get it to fall. The Clippers win. Here's Draymond after the game.
We're not senior citizens. We're high-level basketball players. If we had to play tomorrow, we'd be all right.
Hey, it's all news for the artificial intelligence. That's the future. Picture your perfect apartment. Watch this. This is in my hand, and now it's up there. Oh, apartments.com. Place to find a place.
Yeah, Tuesday, and you don't want to talk about anything else.
I know he was just trying to promote the NBA or some earlier shit.
The playoff series, so there's a sense of urgency. There's been one for the last 2 months for us to even have a chance. So,
Yo, MP, how did the meeting go today?
Our history to play in. You kind of just want to feel like what it's like to get through that.
Because I don't see him
get into hopefully the series with
what you're saying, Pete, but it's not that simple.
So speaking of the Warriors' history of the play, and that's what they were talking about here, the Warriors have actually never won a play-in game. They're 0-3 all-time in the tournament. That's the most losses by any team in the play-in tournament. This includes a home loss to the Grizzlies, who now they're going to have to see in 2021 in a game for the 8th seed. So looking at this, Brian Windhorst, do you think, first of all, do we believe that the Warriors can get past the Grizzlies? This game is a quick turnaround. It is on Tuesday. We saw Jimmy Butler get banged up with his lifting coming off of this game. Steph Curry had a huge wrap on his hand. Can they beat the Grizzlies? Let's start there.
Yes, they can beat the Grizzlies. Okay. The Grizzlies have not done well against the top teams in the league in the second half of the season. But there is a penalty for allowing themselves to get to this. High minutes, some banged up injuries. Frankly, the Warriors did not finish strong. They lost 3 of their last 5, and they did not perform well on their home court. So if you're the Grizzlies, you're going in there saying this is not the same team that was 19-2 with Steph and Jimmy just a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so they can still beat the Grizzlies, but it's going to come down to, Shams, in a lot of ways, the health of this team. What can you tell us about Jimmy Butler, who, as I mentioned, we saw limping down the stretch here, and Steph Curry, who had that thumb heavily wrapped?
So, 2 big injuries. Stephen Curry's got that right thumb, but one Warriors source told me that he's feeling fine enough, good enough, healthy enough to be playing. So he will be out there on Tuesday. Jimmy Butler, he's also expected to play. He's getting around-the-clock treatment, is my understanding. He has a deep thigh contusion, from what I'm told, and so he's going to have to go through a lot over these next 48 hours to be able to play, but I trust him to play. The big question, though, is Jonathan Kuminga and his role in Tuesday's game. Does he play? Because we saw yesterday he was not in the rotation. Steve Kerr, I told him before the game that he would be out of the rotation. They just have not been able to optimize him in that lineup with Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Stephen Curry. I think they want him to play more of a dunker spot role, slashing, cutting. We've seen his prowess when he has the ball in his hands and attacking. That might not be his role, though, in Golden State. But I do think they'll need his athleticism. Gary Payton II and Moses Moody had 6 points in about 55 minutes last night.
The Grizzlies will need a Herculean effort from Ja Morant in order to get this done. I have some questions about the Zach Edey matchup. That's going to be interesting to watch. But let's say they do. Do you still think the Warriors can make a deep playoff run here, UD?
They got a chance. When you got Steph Curry,
that was a long pause.
When you got Steph Curry, you have a chance. Playoff Jimmy. They have playoff Jimmy.
That nigga is Jake from State Farm.
In the play-in. I know they have a winning team playing, but this is what Jimmy does. Back against the wall, no other way out. Our guys 15 strong. So
This is not meant as a slight at the Rockets, because the Rockets earned that number 2 seed with impressive play down the stretch, including a win not that long ago in Golden State. But the difference between the 2 and the 7 seeds, and I'm leaving Memphis out of there for now, they could prove me wrong, is not that much. There's not that much of a difference between these teams. The Thunder set themselves off. Any of those teams, too, and I'm sure the Grizzlies feel this way too, any of those teams feel like they can beat the other team. It's not saying that you are downgrading the Rockets because you think the Warriors could make a run. Yes, I think the Warriors can make a run. But I think any seedings in the Final Four I could see happening because I respect all of these teams.
Let's take a look at just how jumbled and how close all of this was. The playoff matchups, they look like this so far. 7 and 8, of course, still yet to be determined. This is what we know. We know the Nuggets will face the Clippers. We know the Lakers will take on the Timberwolves. And then in the East, we get a first-round matchup, the Pacers and the Bucks. We also know the Knicks and the Pistons are going to face off here. But, Brian, you think that the Clippers in Denver, that may be the most intriguing first-round series?
Yes.
Why?
So this was such an impressive performance from the Clippers yesterday. Going into Golden State, taking all the votes. It wasn't like Steph Curry had a bad game here. He was throwing haymakers in the second half and the fourth quarter of this game. They absorbed them all. And Kawhi Leonard, I know we have been here before at the start of the playoffs. Twice he has not been able to make it to the first round in recent years. This is the best he's looked to me, guys, since the 2019 season when he led the Raptors to the title. His jump shot is so calibrated right now. The mid-range, the three-point range, he's shooting over 50% on both over the last 20 games. James Harden, he is going to make my all-NBA team when I put my ballot in later this week with an exclamation point that he slammed home yesterday in the last day to decide the voting because he was so awesome. They've got defensive guys playing well, and I respect Denver. They worked very hard to get that number 4 seed. I'm not sure where Jamal Murray is health-wise, but I'm absolutely respecting this Clippers team finishing 18-3, winning the huge game yesterday, and playing terrific defense down the stretch.
But you say you're not sure where Jamal Murray is health-wise. Usually that's the question that we have for Kawhi Leonard, and we're seeing him come off playing 42 minutes on Friday, 47 minutes yesterday. It feels like, Shams, this is the healthiest that we've seen Kawhi Leonard in years.
Kawhi Leonard is being fully unleashed. He is fully healthy, finally, and you have to give the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard a lot of credit. They went through 9 months of a lot of questions. We did not know the condition Kawhi Leonard would ever be in for the remainder of his NBA career. And from April 2024 to January 2025, the rigorous rehab, the regimen, they had everything mapped out. And now we see 15 straight games of 20 points or more. That's the second longest streak of his career. So clearly, to Brian's point, he is playing some of the best basketball of his career. He's back to being a two-way force, and for the league, that is a big scare.
I assume that it's going to be Aaron Gordon who's going to get that matchup against Kawhi Leonard. I do not envy that assignment for AG, but it's another matchup in this series that you're keyed in on.
I'm looking for the big man matchup. I'm so excited for this matchup. I love what Zoo has been able to do down there, and there's not very many guys that can match the size, the physicality, and the strength of Jokic. I'm looking to see that matchup and see how they go against each other. Not just how Zubac plays against him, how Jokic can guard Zubac, because he is a threat down there in the paint.
There have been some moments when Zubac has actually gotten the better of Jokic. Jokic's record against everybody.
Oh, you're not saying Wendy.
Zubac has had some moments where we want to see that. I also want to see Chris Dunn, who's tried to do a spectacular. We knew he came in the league to defend. Let's see that matchup against Jamal Murray. That is also going to be a key one.
Zubac has a whole lot of experience guarding Nikola Jokic. In fact, since Jokic came in the league, there's only one player who has more experience attempting to guard again. Containing Jokic is something that is in relative degrees. Rudy Gobert is the only person in the league who has more experience guarding Jokic.